Okay, let's do another quick rhythm guitar lesson here. Before I start, I am playing open today. No capo, so capo's out of the way. Open position in the G position. The last time we did some kind of fundamentals on rhythm. So we did basic strum, and then we added the kind of a bass thump, I call it. And then we added some grace notes on a little up brush stroke. So hopefully you've practiced that and you've got that down. That brush stroke can actually be used almost every stroke, sort of like this. It gets a little busy, so you may want to just limit it to every other. And we also talked about the way that I form a G. Because I like to have my index finger free, so I've got middle finger on the low E string, 3rd fret. I use that finger to dampen the A string. I don't play it, so it's that one's dampened, that A string. Everything else is open until I get down to the B string, and I'm on 3rd fret with my ring finger and 3rd fret with my pinky on the high E string. So, you know, in essence, all I'm playing there is D notes and G notes, G being the number 1 or the root note of this chord, and the D being the 5th. And so it sounds pretty haunting. It's a lot of drone, you know, as opposed to like a standard G could sound like this. Which sounds good too, but in bluegrass that drone really adds a lot of kind of punch and sparkle. So anyway, and that formation, it leaves my index finger open and free, and I put it to use a lot in rhythm. So a couple things we're going to work on. I'm going to show you what we're going to do this time. And then I'll break it down a little bit. So a couple things rhythm I'm going to show you. That's the first thing I'm going to show you. Second thing I'm going to show you, I want you to start thinking about and working on it's commonly called a Lester Flatt G-run. And we're going to do it, there's 100 different variations. In fact, that little riff that I did earlier is a variation of a Lester Flatt G-run. But I'm going to show you the whole thing. We're going to do it like this. So, first thing, we're going to do this. All I'm doing is a pull-off on the 4th string, on the D string, from the 2nd fret, and it's a pull-off, so I only hit it once. So I'm actually plucking with my left hand. Pull-offs are real important in both rhythm and lead bluegrass because it saves your right hand. You don't have to pick it twice. You just pick it once and you use your left hand to pluck it. musically that's pretty important because it resolves on the G note, which is the root note of this chord. And so it's kind of a resolution lick almost in a sense, and it can be used like in the sky, Lord, in the sky. You kind of hear it at the end, and it kind of punctuates after the vocals have stopped. In the sky, Lord, in the sky. And it can be used throughout a song. It can be used instrumentals. It's just a little rhythm riff that can be used. So work on that over and over and over again. You don't do that every stroke, and but you may do it periodically at the end of a measure to resolve on that G note. So kind of putting those all together. So you get kind of a feel for what that index finger can add. Excuse me. So work on that, and take it slow, and take it with the metronome, and try to get it integrated with each of those things, with that bass thump, with the little upstroke. Take it nice and slow and easy. Use a metronome and get that down. All right, so that's a little something your index finger can do. Now I'm going to show you the Lester Flatt run, and take this nice and slow and easy. But eventually, if you play rhythm bluegrass guitar, you have to have this one in your repertoire. You really do, because it's really a role of the bluegrass rhythm guitar. So anyway, Lester Flatt run, there's 1,000 different ways to play it. I'm going to show you one of the simpler ways that I do. In fact, this is it's not quite the one that I normally use, although I use a lot of different variations of it. But this is one that's fairly simple to do, and it sounds really good. And it's got like flatted thirds and a flatted third in there that kind of brings some little bit of bluesiness to it. So it's this. And the nice thing, this has some hammer-ons, so it's 3rd fret on the low E string, open A string, and then a hammer-on to the 1st fret and to the 2nd fret, and then open D, and then 2nd fret D, and then pull off to open D and resolve on the G. Whoops, I missed the G string. Work on that nice and slow. Right, and I think everything nice and slow. All right, so work on those two things, and we'll go from there. I'm going to do you a little song here, just for fun. This is a Reba McEntire song. Pins and needles, needles and pins, one by one I feel them at my heart again. I think I'm getting over you, and then pins and needles, needles and pins. I don't know why I get uneasy every time I hear your name. I feel a sting from every memory that we made. Pins and needles, needles and pins, one by one I feel them at my heart again. I think I'm getting over you, and then pins and needles, needles and pins. That tiny ache can always find me anytime that you are near. Those little things can still remind me that you don't care. Pins and needles, needles and pins, one by one I feel them at my heart again. I think I'm getting over you, and then pins and needles, pins and needles, pins and needles, needles and pins. Anyway, it's early in the morning, so my voice isn't quite what it normally is. Anyway, enjoy that. Reba McEntire. Have a good week.